Bong.
Scotty
And we're
boy,
back.
Scotty boy.
So happy to be here. I'm hiding in my hood of shame. I should take down my background. If you'll let me here, Miami, I'm going to go on a little rant here about my boys. Um, I do understand that a lot of people out there would take a record of 8-3, so I'm going to stay humble a little bit, but I'm also going to just express pure disappointment. First off, the football game was beautiful. Dump and snow, beautiful football game. I'm disappointed because we do this all the time. We have an opportunity to get a home playoff game, and we can't beat teams like the Cleveland Browns. We have no business losing this game. We'll probably put up a fight against the Ravens. Cincinnati scares me. We have a 10-day stretch where we play the Ravens, Kansas City, and Philadelphia. So I'm scared for how we're going to end the season, but probably still squeak into the playoffs. I understand that. I'm just disappointed. We can't win these stupid games that we need to win. Everyone falls apart. The defense wasn't there. TJ Watt, non existent. Our offensive line got destroyed. We had no offensive production, nothing. I just hate it. It makes me sick to my stomach. Um, yeah, that's all I got. That's just poop game by us. I had us money line. I sent Miami. I sent you the note that said we were 0-5 against divisional opponents on the road in
Yep.
prime time. We're 0-6 now. I thought we were going to pull it off. We're 0-6, so I'm going to stay in my hood of shame this week because I just want to hide somewhere and cry.
Yeah, I appreciate you sending me that stat because it actually changed my pick from the Steelers to the Browns. So 1-0 on the week, thanks to Scott, who looks like he is ready for Easter in his yellow duck onesie right here. All right, so let's go ahead and throw up the recap from last week. Scott was able to get one back on me. He went 7-5. I went 6-6. So he's still got that medal. He's still got a pretty good lead going into this one, but I think there could be some movement by the end of this week, Scotty
Big
boy.
week,
So
big
we'll have
week.
to see how it
Hey,
goes.
shout out to the chat. Gator Dave, we see you're in Valdosta, the old stomping grounds there. I'd say you could catch a little glimpse of some real football with the Valdosta State playoff game, but they are the one seed and they got a bye this week. So sorry, you're going to have to settle for subpar Florida football.
All right. Go ahead and tap into our college show with Gator Dave. You can check that out. We talked that Florida Ole Miss game. Go ahead and drop that little dime into there. And also, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out. If you guys are in the chat, commenting in the chat, thank you for commenting in the chat. But it also helps us out just as much, if not more, if you can drop a comment below. So please do that as well. Thank you very much. Evelyn, Will, Scott, you mentioned Gator Day. Phineas, live from Valdosta. The little pub is
Hey, there he is.
out there tonight. So shout out
The
to y'all.
youth.
And let's get it going. We got 12 games to talk about. First one is disgusting, and that's why we're talking about it first here. It's the Chiefs taking on the Carolina Panthers. Chiefs are minus 10.5. Over-under sitting at 42.5. Scott, what do you got here?
Look, it's the Chiefs versus the Panthers. The Chiefs coming off a loss. The Panthers are the Panthers. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. There's just not a lot to talk about here, in my opinion. It's probably one of the most well coached and well put together teams in the NFL versus a team that should be relegated down to a different league of football. So yeah, give me the Chiefs. There's just not a lot to talk about here. I think the Chiefs are going to destroy the Panthers. Anything else that happens would be a miracle.
Well, go ahead and call it a miracle in November. It's happening. The Chiefs had their first loss last week. Heartbreaker to the Bills. That one's going to carry over into this one. They're going to be looking past the Carolina Panthers in this one.
You've got them losing.
While they may win the
Okay.
game, the Panthers will cover the 10.5 behind Bryce Young and this
You're a
rejuvenated
madman. He's a
Carolina
madman.
team. All the Chiefs got is Travis Kelce over the middle right now. You shut that down, it's fine. I'm telling you, the Chiefs are going to look past them. This is one of two double-digit spread games on the week. I am a madman also because I got some ground to make up. So there's going to be a couple things tonight where I am going to take the other side because we got to make some moves. This is one of them. I will say that to be fair. It's probably not one that I'm going to end up doing anything with. Also, I will say that as well. But give me the Panthers plus 10.5 to get it.
Crazy.
Maybe a Pat Mahomes interception prop to consider here, Scott.
You're
Just saying.
crazy. Look, I'm coming out of my
Just saying.
my hood of shame here because people, it's hot. It's hot in there. I wanted to keep it on because I'm disappointed, but I can't do it. So it's coming off
Onesie
early.
hood
You're a
is coming
madman.
off.
I thought you were going to say the Panthers were going to upset the Chiefs, and I was about to exit
No,
this
let's
call.
not get no. Let's not get crazy. All right, moving on here. We got the Buccaneers making the way to division rival New Orleans. They're a 6-point favorite. Over under sitting at 41.5. What do you got, Scott?
Look, the Giants are 0-5 at home. The only thing they have going for them, though, is Dimes is gone. He's gone. He's been released from the team. He'll find a home somewhere at some subpar team like Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys. 0-5 at home. DeVito is getting the start, I believe. Chicken cutlets for everyone. So the Giants could get a
Did
little
I get
spark
this
from that. They
wrong?
have nothing. They've got nothing to lose. In the end, though, I'm going with the team that's just better on paper. Bucks -6. They've got a lot of injuries. Right now, the public is on Tampa Bay at about 69%, so heavily favored. But I like Baker here. A banged up Tampa Bay team should handle the Giants, so I'm okay with -6. If it gets to that -7, -7.5, I might get a little scared. But I'm going to stick with the -6 here. It did open at 4 and moved up to 6. But I think Tampa Bay gets it done. I just don't think the Giants have enough.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that graphic was showing the New Orleans Saints as the home team against the Bucks. It is the Giants, just to clarify. So it's in the Meadowlands. Bucks are that 6-point favorite. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Bucks -6 as well. They're getting Mike Evans back off of that hamstring injury. We'll see what happens with that hamstring. The thing with the hamstring is, one bad cut, something along those lines, stop and go.
We've seen it.
He could re-aggravate it. So we'll see if he's able to go the whole distance in this one. I just think Bucky Irving's going to be able to find success against this Giants team. And like you mentioned, Daniel Jones is gone. They released him. So I think the Giants are kind of in tank mode at this point. So I don't think they're too worried about winning this one. Give me the Bucks -6 in a game that they need in order to stay playoff relevant and division relevant against those Falcons. So yeah, I'm with you here, Scott.
I like it. I like it. Too bad for you. You won't gain a game back here, but I like it. I like the pick.
It's all right. There's plenty to come. Don't you worry. And speaking of one, one here. We got the Lions making the trip to Indianapolis. Lions a 7-point favorite. Total sitting at 49.5. Scott, what do you got?
Look, so I've been saying it all year, and they've proved us wrong all year. And last week, when they had the 14-point spread, I said, you know what? We're going with them. They're crushing teams. They should dominate here. And it was, 59-6 or something ridiculous like that. 52-9, something around there. So well covered. But this game, so the Colts do this once a year, where the Colts get sneaky once a year. And we said at the beginning of the year, Colts are my sneaky team. They do this. They're 5-6. They're 3-2 at home. Anthony Richardson is trying to prove something. He's a chaotic player on the field. Kind of reminds me of George Pickens in a sense, but a little bit more put together. But he's chaotic. He's making wild throws. He makes crazy runs. He's athletic. You never know what he's going to do. He's unpredictable. The Lions should go in here with their team and steamroll. That's what they should do. The Lions right now are dominating every single aspect of the game. They do have another, big injury with Anzalone, 6 to 8 weeks out from last week, but hasn't stopped. They have nothing stopping their offense. And if they can continue to score 30 plus points a game, they can outscore opponents. And that's what they've been doing. But there's just something about the Colts here. And I'm scared that the Lions will win the game, but the Colts will backdoor cover. For that reason, I'm going with a shootout here. Over is a safe play, has been a safe play for the Lions all year. So I'm going to take the over 49.5. Let's see some points. I want to see everyone getting in the end zone. Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Anthony Richardson. I want everyone in the end zone. Taylor, I want them all. I want all the points.
Yeah, I could see why you're doing that. I mean, the Lions obviously one of the best offenses in the league. Colts have been shaky on defense. However, Anthony Richardson had probably his best game of his career last week, coming off that benching where it's been Joe Flacco's show. Everybody thought, maybe Anthony Richardson is done. Maybe Indy is going to trade him. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Colts here, plus the 7.
I don't hate it.
Plus the 7 at home. I think this is one of those games where the Lions kind of overlook them. Even though the Colts are kind of in the hunt for their division, they're kind of relevant. They're really not. This is not a game that the Lions really should have to worry about. This one, they could get caught slipping in. Indy is much tougher at home than they are away. If Anthony Richardson is able to not turn the ball over like he did last week, I think the Colts have a potential chance to win this one outright. They finally got some guys back last week as well. DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore was able to go. Jonathan Taylor, I think he was kind of bottled up last week. I think he has a little bit more success in this one because the Lions are going to be worried about Anthony Richardson's ability to run the football. Like you mentioned, Anzalone is hurt. So they're going to have to figure something out in that front 7 to help out that back end because you got Josh Downs, Alec Pierce downfield, Michael Pittman. I'm not sure if he's going to be back in this one, but these other guys have been stepping up. So give me Colts plus 7 potential outright. Shout out to Evelyn in the chat. Go Colts. Yep. Go Colts. Yep. Shout out also to Caleb. Yes. Hey, Caleb, do me a favor. Copy and paste that exact comment, brother, and put it in a comment below this video so it stays front and center for everybody to see. You can be the first comment on the video. We appreciate it. Keep showing support. Keep showing love. We appreciate you. Moving on here, Scotty boy. We are going to the Titans taking on the Texans in another divisional matchup here. Talking about the Colts and how they are potentially relevant still in their division. This is why. It's not very impressive this year. You got the Texans who are leading the division race of the AFC South. They are a 7.5-point favorite. 40.5 points is the total. Scott, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, big game the Colts are going to be watching. If somehow the Titans can upset Houston here, it would be massive for the Colts to gain a game on them. They're 2 games up right now, 4-1 at home. Nico Collins is back. We called it last week. Houston's the king of Texas now, destroying the Cowboys, and that opening play was a 80-yard touchdown to Nico. So their offense, I think, is going to get moving again. I think the stat that I saw during the game was C.J. Stroud's completion percentage without Nico was like 42%, with Nico 73% or something around there as an average. So much more productive offense with Nico there. You have more options, spreads out the defense. Then Joe Mixon can get involved. We saw 3 touchdowns from him last week. So I think the Texans are revving back up at the right time in the season. They're 7-4. They got a 2-game lead in the AFC South. I think the door's wide open for them. I think they're going to keep running, keep being productive offensively, and that's why they're going to win. The Titans are not going to be able to keep up with the Texans. That's why I think the Texans are going to take it. 7.5, that half-point scares people, that little kicker there. I don't think you have anything to be scared of. I think the Texans steamroll the Titans, just like they did the Cowboys. Give me Stroud and the Texans making a statement here that they're going to make a late season push.
I like it. I like it so much, Scott. I'm going to take actually a play out of my college college pick'em show that we have on Wednesday nights.
Game show.
and do a first half play here with the Texans. I'm going to take the Texans first half minus 4.5. The Texans are actually
Interesting.
10-1 against the spread in the first half this year. It is the best start to a season in the last 20 years. I think they continue that trend here. I like the Texans minus 7.5 for the game. I think that's a good pick. I'm just going to go ahead and think that they're up by 7 at the half as well. I'm thinking like
Yeah,
17 to
they're
7 at
fast
the half.
offense.
So
Yep. Yep.
give me the Texans first half minus 4.5 in this one, Scott.
I love that. They start fast. I love the pick. That is our first, I believe, first half pick that we've had on the show this year. So
I
I
think
like it a
so.
lot. Look at you getting creative. I mean, you got to try to find a way to get some wins back, right? We're
Pulling
getting close
something
to
out
the
of the
end.
bag. Pulling something out of the
You know,
bag.
you haven't even considered having the badge. So I get it. You got to reach into the bag of tricks and see what you can
All
do.
right, moving on. We got the Cowboys taking on the Commanders in Washington. It's minus 10.5. Over under sitting at 46.5. Scott, what do you got here?
Look, the Cowgirls, the Choke Boys, whatever you want to call them, been saying it all year. 3-7, they're crumbling. Their stadium doesn't work. Tear it down. Put a new stadium in. Jerry's losing it. Their head coach has got to go. If I'm them, I'm tanking. I'm getting both Sanders. I'm signing the coach and the quarterback in the draft, starting fresh. Look, the Commanders. I still like the Commanders. Uh, the predictor right now, where everything is leaning public wise, is 77% towards Washington, which is a little scary when everyone's on Washington. You saw what 89% of the bets were on Pittsburgh. So that sucks for everyone there, including myself. But I've already talked about that. But look, Scary Terry, Jaden Daniels, Robinson, Washington's offense just looks good. And everyone has cooked the Cowboys except for the Steelers. So I like Washington to come in here. 10.5 points is a lot of points, but I feel confident that the Commanders can come in and put it to the Cowboys. They're 4-1 at home. They play well at home. They're not a very injured team. I like the Commanders to come in and just dominate the Cowboys here. Russia's not it for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Jerry Jones made a comment this week. They asked him why Trey Lance isn't getting a chance over Cooper Rush, and he was very adamant that he think Cooper Rush gives them the best chance to win football games, and that's what's most important to him. So,
Well, he's like
interesting.
90, so
He's something. I think I'm going to go with the over in this one, Scott, because the public is going to be all over the Commanders. You mentioned it. I think it's like 70-30 right now in favor of Commanders in the spread situation. So I'm going to go the over 46.5. I think the Commanders, if they start to have success against this Cowboys team, they may actually put up 40 on their own, because if they get going, they're not going to stop. Dan Quinn, former defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, left there to go to this Commanders team. In division rival, Commanders are competing with the Eagles for this division and to go to the playoffs. So I think they get up in this one and get up in this one good. I think the Cowboys are probably able to find some success in garbage time as well. This is why I'm also on the over here. So give me the over 46.5. All right,
well,
moving on.
don't
We got
hate it.
another divisional matchup. We got the Vikings making the trip to the Windy City of Chicago. Vikings are a 3.5 point favorite. Over under sitting at 39.5. Scott, what you got?
Look, I've said it the last couple of weeks. The Bears are falling apart. They have no structure. I think that locker room is gone. The coach needs to go. The coach isn't, I don't think, respected by the players. The quarterback doesn't have the team around him. When it comes down to it, the Vikings are looking for their fourth straight win. The Bears are looking to not drop their fifth straight game. They're 4-2 at home, which is favorable for them with a 4-6 record. They have not won on the road, so they're at home, which they play better. Their defense is really the only thing they have going for them. Every now and then, the Bears defense does not show up to every game, but the good thing is the Vikings are 8-2. And besides the Steelers, they might be the worst 8-2 team in the NFL. And that's just because sometimes they don't show up all the way. And the games they don't show up to, Darnold's not playing well. I mean, Aaron Jones only has 2 touchdowns on the year. But if Justin Jefferson gets going, that's game over. If he's going to go for a 200-yard game, there's nothing the Bears can do there. So I'm going to go with a team that's falling apart from the inside in the locker room against a team that can score points and is not a bad team. Um, the Vikings should take it. I'd be really confident at 3 points. Right now, the spread's at 3.5. So I'm going to take the under here. Uh, Last time I checked, it was 39.5. I'm seeing it opened at 40.5. So it went down a point, but I'm going to take the under 39.5. I do not like a lot of points to be scored here. I'm hoping this is like a, I don't know, 13-6 kind of game, just field goals. But I'm not very interested in this game. I'm probably not going to turn it on.
Yeah, I hear that. I like that under pick. I'm not going to go with the under because again, we need movement here, Scott. You got a nice little lead here. We got to chop away at that a little bit. So, I am going to take the Vikings minus the 3.5. This is one that I would definitely watch. Probably buy that hook down to the -3. Don't play around with that half a point. In my opinion, it's just not worth it. But I do think this one is going to be low scoring. I think this one's going to be field goals. A lot of stuff on the ground. The Bears have one of the better pass defenses in the league. Not so great on the run though. So look for Aaron Jones. If he's not dealing with injury issues, to have a good game in this one. Look for Caleb Williams to potentially struggle against this Brian Flores defense. Something to note, though, Sam Darnold playing outdoors in Chicago. We'll see how that goes with the wind. It looks like the weather isn't going to be too much a factor, but the wind is always a factor. So something to take note there, and something that usually trends to help out the under. So I like that pick, Scott, but I
I get
gotta
it.
go to chop away. So Vikings minus three and a
I'll
half
find a
here.
way. Take
All
it to the
right, we
fish.
are at the halfway point here. We got the Patriots making their way down to South Beach. Well, not really South Beach, Miami Gardens, a little bit north of South Beach. To
Close
take on the
enough.
Dolphins. Dolphins are -7.5. Over under sitting at 46.5. Tua is 6-0 against the Patriots. Dolphins are playing with confidence right now. Our defense is starting to step up. I think the Dolphins are able to cover in this one. I think it's going to be stupidly close for a
Mm.
while. I also kind of like the under in this one potentially, but I think the defense steps up, causes some forced turnovers against Drake May, gets some sacks. Offense does enough to pull away, but I do think this one may be low scoring. But give me the Dolphins minus that 7.5. Again, that half-point hook, I would take down to that 7. Don't mess around with it in my opinion, but to each their own. But give me the Dolphins minus 7.5. Unfortunately, we can't do buy down points, so that's what I'm going with. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, look, I don't trust either of these teams right now. Drake May does not look bad. He's got
Yeah.
production. Miami's starting to get their identity back and realizing, okay, hey, yeah, okay, Tua's back, but we have skill at almost every position offensively, and they just haven't used it. We talked about that at the beginning of the year. Tyreek Hill's starting to get, back into the production a little bit. He's not catching 80-yard bombs. He's catching 1-yard touchdowns, but a touchdown is a touchdown. It's going to be a
Yep.
beautiful 77 degrees at kickoff right now. I am not picking either team because I don't trust either team. And I think 7.5 points is a lot. I could easily see New England covering here, backdoor. I do see a lot of points being scored here. I like the over 46.5. I think both teams are going to be, have some fun. There's nothing to lose for either team at this point. Go out, put some creative plays out there, have some fun, get different players involved. Develop your quarterback in Drake May. See if you can recover as Miami comes back from injuries and Tua is at the future. You're probably not catching Buffalo as Miami here, and New England's basically out of it at 3-8. So I think you're just trying to have some fun at this point. So I like a lot of points to be scored. I do like Tyreek Hill to have a signature like 60, 70-yard touchdown in this game. Over 46.5 for me.
All right. I like it. All right, moving on. We got the Broncos taking on divisional
Oof.
foe Las Vegas Raiders. Broncos are a 6-point favorites on the road. Over under is sitting at 41.5. Scott, what do you got?
Look, I just got to first say sorry to Mr. Will.
Sorry.
Went to the game. left the game early, is my understanding. First time he's left a sporting event
Hmm.
early in X amount of time, he said. The Broncos torched him up. Bo Nix, I think my statement last week was I do not think Bo Nix is going to have a amazing game with 3 or 4 touchdowns. That is exactly what he did. So prove me wrong there. I'll hold myself accountable. Broncos looked good last week. The Broncos have a winning record. They're 3-3 away, 6-5 overall, playing a subpar Raiders team. Look, I know it's Broncos Raiders. It should be a tough game. The line opened at -4.5, and now it's -6 for Denver. Me, I'm comfortable with -6. I'm going to take -6 Denver. Bo Nix is starting to look like he could be the future there. He's getting better each and every single week. They're getting some productivity through the air, which Denver did not have to start with. Bo Nix was rushing for all of his touchdowns earlier in the year. Sutton's getting involved. Denver might be a team that we see sneaking up here towards the end of the season that's knocking at the door. Now, right now, they're sitting third in the AFC West at 6-5, with Los Angeles at 7-3, and then Kansas City at 9-1. I do not think they'll catch Kansas City, but they have a chance to get the wild card spot, and they could be a sneaky contender in the wild card. I think they do have a good defense. They've been exposed, right? The Ravens game, they've been exposed. Their offense has not shown up. Their offense has played. So they got to figure out their identity as a team. And once they're all cylinders, I can see the Broncos being an okay team. Surprisingly, though, it's pretty much 50-50. It's a little bit leaning towards the Broncos, but it's about 50-50 in this game, which is surprising to me. I think Denver takes it easy, -6, and that's my pick.
I'm with you. Broncos -6. That's my pick. They're the better team, better defense, better offense, better coaching staff. Broncos -6. In a position for the playoffs too. This is one that they need if they want to keep on that trend going
big
into
game.
it. So,
Yep.
all right, moving on here. We got the Cardinals making northern trip to Seattle. Is this a better bird game? Maybe better
Better
bird
bird.
game. It's lining up real nice for it. Cardinals sitting at is that -1 or
It
Seahawks
is.
-1?
It is. Yep.
Seahawks -1, over under sitting at 47.5. I'm gonna go with Cardinals, Scott. Cardinals +1. I think Kyler Murray is gonna give this Seattle defense some problems. I think it's gonna be potentially bad weather there in Seattle. It looked like it wasn't gonna be too bad. Looked like they were gonna miss the rain. Shouldn't be a factor, but you never know with Seattle. That could always change overnight. I'm going to take the Cardinals +1. They're in a position where they are potentially playing to get into this playoffs. Again, going with the coaching staff, going with the better quarterback that I believe is Kyler Murray. I think they're going to give Seattle problems in the running game. I think their defense is ultimately better than Seattle's. Geno Smith, I have not been impressed with the way that he's been playing, and there's been a lot of finger pointing by him to other guys rather than to himself. I think that's going to end up being a problem. I think Seattle probably misses the playoffs, and this game could be one of those games. Why? So give me the Cardinals +1 in this one. Scott, what do you got here?
I do not hate that. I think you're right. Kyler Murray is going to pick apart the defense, not only in the air, but with his feet. We've seen him being pretty productive on the ground. Call of Duty's been good for him. James Conner's been playing very well. He's emerged as a good leader for Arizona. Like you said, Geno Smith's not playing out of his mind. He has 11 touchdowns, but he has 11 picks. They've had injuries. DK's back. It's going to be a gross game. Right now it's saying 49 degrees with some rain. They've got the bomb cyclone going on there right now. Our buddy that lives out there, he hasn't had power the last couple of days. So who knows what the weather's going to be like. But for me, I think Arizona is going to score, 20, 28 points. But Seattle finds a way here to score points as well. So for me, I'm going to take the over 47.5. Both these teams give up points. The Cardinals are on a run here. They're going for their 5th straight win. Last 3 games are averaging over 30 points themselves. The Seahawks, they're averaging closer to just about 20 points. So that would put us in the over. So that's why I'm going with that. I like some points to be scored here. If the Seahawks can go put up 20 points last week in a big win against San Francisco, they can score points against Arizona's defense. So I want the over here. The better bird is both the birds scoring a lot of points.
Cardinals, better bird of the week. All right,
There
three
you go.
games left here. We got the
Hey, wait, pause.
49ers.
Timeout.
What?
Timeout.
What do we got?
Navowski just showed up just in time for who's the better bird, and it's the Cardinals, baby.
Cardinals are the better bird of the week, Navosky. Cardinals are the better bird of the week. It's official. 3 games left. 49ers making the trip to Lambeau Field. Packers are -3. Over-under sitting at 46.5. Short and sweet for me. It's hard to win in Lambeau. Further we get into the season. 49ers are banged up. Injury problems kind of all throughout that defense. They are getting some people back. They got Christian McCaffrey back. He's starting to get a full workload again. Debo Samuel, looks like George Kittle is going to be back this week. He missed last week, so that'll be big for Brock Purdy. That's basically his safety blanket now.
Yeah, but I don't think
especially
Purdy's
with
going to
Brandon
play.
Ayuk being gone. Is he not supposed to play?
I don't think he's going to play. He's not trending to play
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Well, yeah, then I love this pick even more. Give me the Packers money line at home to get it done against the 49ers. I think the Packers put themselves in a position to be in the playoffs as a wild card. I don't think they're going to get in as the division winner, so they got to win some games in order to get in. 49ers, I think, are trending in the opposite direction. I think they actually will miss the playoffs. And again, this week, I think, is a big reason why. So give me the Packers money line in this one. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to throw a curveball at you here. So I'll tell the people, originally my pick was going to be the over here. I just pulled up San Francisco's injury report. Nick Bosa and Brock Purdy, as of today, have officially been ruled out for the game on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, it's
With
big
Purdy
time.
not playing, I do not want the over in this game. Looking at the bet percentages here, I was shocked to see Green Bay's almost 70%, and that led me to look at the injury report and see what happened today. For that reason, I'm going to go with Green Bay at home. What? But then you're not going to get what you wanted. Let's do this. I'm going to take the over still. I'm going to stick with my over pick, so you don't have to change anything. You still have your chance at getting a pick back. And my hope is that without Bosa and a weaker injured defense, maybe the Packers put up 40 and the 49ers can find a way to score 2 touchdowns. I don't like that pick. It's not my favorite pick. With Purdy being out, I'd say, hey, take the Packers here. Yeah, hard to play in Lambeau, even harder to play in Lambeau without a quarterback.
Yeah, so that line has actually gone up to 5.5 now,
Yep.
based off of that injury news. So something to consider there. Get it while you can, because it's probably going to go up even higher than that.
Oh
Last
my
2
God.
games that
Hold
we're going to
on.
talk about
Hold
here are
on.
no, don't do
Hold
it.
the
Don't.
phone. Navowski, I was traveling for work. It had nothing to do with how sad I was. It had everything to do with how sad I was. That's all I'm going to say. He missed the rant at the beginning.
Yeah, he did. He went on a night. We gave him the floor at the beginning, Navosky. He had to get it off his chest. But he did still end up having a good week, picks-wise. So it was all right when it was all said and done. That's why he's wearing his Easter onesie, though. He had his hood up, too, at the beginning. Make sure to go back and check that out. Sunday Night Football, we got 2 games left here. Eagles, who are not the better bird this week, they are taking on the Rams. Eagles are a 3-point favorite. Total sitting at 48.5. I am on the under here, Scott. Under 48.5. I think the Eagles are going to struggle. I think it's going to be one of those classic Jalen Hurts 2 or 3 interception games, 1 touchdown. Saquon Barkley finds a way to put it on his shoulders and get it done in the 4th quarter. Eagles will probably find a way to win this one, but I just don't see a lot of points scored in this one. So give me the 48.5 total, and I'm thinking like 24, 21, 27, 21. Probably Eagles, but maybe Rams. Rams may be able to sneak one by them here. Scott, what do you got?
You're crazy. The Eagles are going for their 7th straight win. They're playing in prime time. We're going to get a good
Not the
Eagles
better bird.
team. Look, Jalen Hurts, not playing bad. 12 touchdowns, 5 picks through the air, plus all of his rushing stats. Barkley, he's just playing gymnastics. He's playing Madden, smashing buttons, jumping over people. AJ Brown, look, they look good. The Eagles look like the Eagles that we know, but the Rams are no, they're no joke. They're starting to get it figured
Sneaky.
out. They're a
Sneaky.
little sneaky. They got Cup, they got Puka, they got Williams. Look, they're not a bad team. I just don't see the Rams defense holding up as well to the Phillies offense right now. And then when you flip it, I think that the Philadelphia Eagles defense, in particular their front four, is going to hold up way better against the Rams offense than the Rams will against the Eagles offense. It's really tight in the NFC West right now. Everyone has a chance to come out of that division. San Francisco 49ers in Seattle and the Rams are all 5-5, and Arizona is 6-4. Every game is a must-win game for this division. So they're going to be playing hard. They're at home, which is a plus. But I just don't see how the Eagles drop a game to the Rams here. Give me Philly money line. I think they find a way.
All right. I like it. I like it. Moving on to Monday Night Football here. Before we do, if you haven't already, please drop a comment below. All our people in the chat, thank you for joining in. If you could throw a comment on here as well, outside of the chat, but below the video, that would really help that algorithm out. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Going into the last game now here, we are talking Monday Night Football. We got the Ravens taking on the Chargers, heading out west in the Harbaugh Bowl. It is revamped, reincarnated. Ravens are a -3 favorite. Total sitting at 50.5 for this one. I like the Ravens, Scott. I like John Harbaugh in this spot. I just think he's got the better offense. I think he's the better bird in this one. Better defense also is ultimately what it is for me. Ravens also need this one after losing last week against your Steelers. They need to bounce back in this one to stay relevant in that division race, especially with the Steelers losing on Thursday. That's a little bit extra motivation here for the Ravens to go ahead and go get one back on the Steelers in that division. So I think that's a little bit of extra motivation. You got the Harbaugh rivalry. Obviously, you never want to lose to your brother. So there's going to be a little bit extra there. I think it's a lot of running the football in this one. I think it's a lot of trench play in this one. I potentially like the under for that reason. I think that the clock's going to be moving pretty frequently. Both good defenses. Both are going to want this one. Primetime football. But give me the Ravens money line to get it done in this one and to stay relevant in that playoff race. Chargers are going to be fighting for their playoff lives here lately towards the end of the season. Ravens as well, but I think Ravens are in a better position. So give me the Ravens to keep it going. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, you said two things that stick out to me. You said that you think it's going to be one in the trenches. If that's the case, you pick the Ravens every time. Look, J.K. Dobbins is not bad, but he's not Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry comes out here and has himself a day. King Henry will be in attendance for this primetime game. The other thing you mentioned is making a push kind of at the end of the year. Can you be a playoff contender? Look, we got one game on Baltimore. Baltimore needs to stay within a game of the Steelers here, and the loss definitely helps them. But the other thing is someone in the AFC is going to have 10 wins, maybe 11 wins, depending on how these last 4 weeks pan out. But someone will have 10 or 11 wins and will not make the playoffs. So we're getting in that territory where all these wins matter. I mean, the Chargers are 7-3, and they are not guaranteed to get in the playoffs right now. Baltimore 7-4. This is going to be a big game for deciding who might get in the wild card here at the end of the year, depending on how the AFC North goes and the Bills, the Chiefs, and so forth. But I just don't see the Ravens having another bad game, slow game offensively like they did against the Steelers. That's just AFC North. That happens every time we play them. Look at the history. We talked about it. The last, 80% of the games that have been played in the last 14 years between those two teams is decided between 3 points or something like that. So, look, the Chargers are on a 4-game win streak. The Ravens are not a bad team. They can beat anyone at any time. I think the Ravens are going to take it. I want the Ravens -3. I think they're just going to be a little too much, but I like a good game here. But I do think the Ravens are going to win by about 7, and they're going to control the ground game, like you said. I think the time of possession is going to be like 65-70% towards the Ravens here, just because they're going to rely on Henry, and he's going to have a 140 plus rush yard game.
Yeah. I like it. Number 1 rushing team in the league is the Ravens, so definitely not a bad team to back in that situation, like you mentioned. All right, throwing up the recap for this week. We got a little spice going on this one. Couple head-to-heads, couple not head-to-heads, but some potential for movement most definitely. So I'm on the Panthers plus 10.5. You're on the Chiefs minus 10.5. That one's a little shaky. I'll admit it. We're both on the Buccaneers -6 against the Giants. I'm on the Colts plus 7.5. Scott is on the Lions Colts over 49.5. I got the Titans first half in this one. The Texans first half in this one. You got the Texans full game. I am on the Commanders Cowboys over. You're on the Commanders minus 10.5. I got the Vikings minus 3.5. You're on the under 39.5 in the Bears Vikings game in Chicago. I got the Dolphins minus 7.5. You got the Patriots Dolphins over 46.5. We're both on the Broncos minus 6 at the Las Vegas Raiders. I am on the Cardinals plus 1. You are on the over in the Cardinals Seahawks game. I'm on the Packers money line against the 49ers. You are on the over in that game as well. I'm on the under in Eagles Rams and Sunday Night Football. You got the Eagles to win that one outright money line. I got Ravens money line Monday night in the Harbaugh Bowl. You got Ravens -3. Scott, anything you want to say to the people? You still have a commanding 9-game lead right now, going into week 12 of the NFL season. So we're about 2/3 of the way done with the season here, and you are still in a commanding lead. Anything you want to say?
First off, thanks for everyone in the chat. We appreciate it. It's nice. It's nice to talk to you, even though when there's slight jabs like Navasky talked about my boys. But that's the fun in it. I'm gonna say it, so you should say it to me too. It's the best part. Look, 9 games. So I went, for everyone who's not aware, I did go on a 22-2 run for 2 weeks earlier in the season. That's what set me up for greatness here. And since then, I don't think that I've had maybe 1 week where I was 5-7, and everything else has been at least 500, if not better. That's what's keeping me alive. Comfortable 9-game lead here, but this week, this has potential to swing a lot one way or another. All it takes is Miami to go 11-1 here, so I'm not taking my foot off the pedal. I'm pushing through week 18. Look, the Steelers sign in the back of the wall. You saw me take it down. I'm going to leave it down until we can prove ourselves again. We're going to earn that spot.
You should.
My plays are, I love Derrick Henry. I love Montgomery this week. I might do a little parlay with them anytime touchdown scores. I don't know why you're touching that Finn's helmet. What are you doing?
Minus 7.5. -7.5.
Oh my God!
Take it down to
disgusting.
7. Take it down to 7.
I'd take it to 6.5, people.
We're back, baby.
Broncos -6, easy money. You're right. I love it. I do love that.
Yeah, I think that could be easy money for sure. All right, thank you again to everybody in the chat. If you haven't already, again, please drop a comment below. Comment the word potato or something. Let us know that you watched the full video. Let's see how many real fans we got out there. Part of the family.
I see you.
Utopia
I see you, Will.
gang.
You forgot Hill. Look, hey, everyone, again, thank you for tuning in. We apologize for it being tonight. We did change the
Yeah.
NFL show to be Thursdays, but I was traveling for work, even though some people think I was just crying in a dark corner, which I was, but I was also traveling for work. So it should
He
be
was just doing
Thursdays
that
every
in
week.
a hotel room
Yes, I was. I ordered
with room service.
three scoops of ice cream to consult myself. It didn't matter. Potato, Evelyn. We see our first potato in the chat.
We love to see it. We love to see it. All right. Thank you to everybody for watching. We will see you next week. Next week, since Thanksgiving is Thursday, we will probably have a show Wednesday.
Keep you on your toes.
After the college show. So look out for that. That's probably when we'll do it. There's a chance we'll do it Thanksgiving, but lots going on that day. So we will see. Most likely we're looking at Wednesday night following the college football pick'em show live with Gator Dave. So make sure to tune in for that as well. And thank you for watching. Good luck this week.